Last night in Louisiana, Mike Walker there in the yellow trunks fighting Antoine Eccles in the super middleweight division bout. Walker accepted the invite on Wednesday, just 48 hours before the fight when the original challenger didn't make the trip. The fight ended in a draw, leaving Walker's record at 18 wins and 2 draws. Now, if you're wondering why we mentioned the fight, well, Mike Walker is a Chicago native, and his agent is Octavius James. And while Black History Month is over, that doesn't mean the stories have to stop.
No, because people can be inspired any time of the year, and James is a perfect example of that. He's an entrepreneur who didn't have to stray far from home to pursue his dream. William Jackson has his story.
Boxing is no different, I guess, than any other business or that sort of thing. But they said for every day that you do boxing, it's like 2 days for a regular job. So,
within the ropes comes the ultimate test of stamina and strength, mental and physical, for a 30-something businessman named Octavius James. And that same focus applies to the work he does outside of the boxing ring.
If you look at corporate America during the early 80s, early 90s, it wasn't that many, title holders of African Americans that were presidents or CEOs or vice presidents of their companies or corporations.
With that mindset from days growing up in Gary, James is president and CEO of 1 in a Million Incorporated. He's also among a very small number of African American boxing promoters influenced by men who were heavyweights in more ways than one.
My mentor through the entire ordeal has been Ernie Terrell, former heavyweight champion of the world. Fought some of the best, Muhammad Ali as one of reference. And just being around gentlemen like Ernie. And I had an uncle who was one of the top trainers. The ultimate goal is to succeed. And everything that was installed by my parents. And when you have strong roots like that, it's a very small window of opportunity to fail.
And then there's Don King, perhaps the most prominent promoter of all time. And when it comes to many words used to describe King's style through the years, there is only one word that comes to mind for James.
Genius. Genius. Yeah, definitely. No question about it. No question about it. When I think of Don King, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And I would hold true to that if anyone asks me. And I get that a lot because being maybe one of the only African-American boxing promoters, you always get that comparison. And immediately I back away from that because in my position, there's years and years and years of accomplishments that I would have to achieve to even be considered in the same sentence with Don King.
As his own business booms, the relationship between Octavius James and his fighters is built upon a simple approach.
These guys have to believe in themselves. I can believe in them all they want. The fans can believe in them, but if they don't believe in themselves, it's really hard to build on an individual who doesn't believe in themselves. So the very first thing anyone who walks through my door as a fighter or a potential fighter, is to teach them to believe in themselves.
William Jackson, Comcast Sportsnet.
Thank you, William. Sports Night rolls on when we come back. It may be cold outside, but they're swinging the sticks this weekend at the 25th Chicago Golf Show. We'll hear from PGA favorite John Daly.